very welcome back to Ireland AM. Now, Daniel Collins was always a very happy child, but after being diagnosed with scoliosis 2 years ago, his life dramatically changed.
Due to the long delay in getting treatment, Daniel, who is now 14, he's going to need 2 spinal surgeries instead of the one that they originally thought he'd have to get. Here to tell us Daniel's story is his sister Allanna and his father David. Thank you both so much for being here. We know that Daniel himself couldn't be with us today. David, can you tell us about your son, Daniel?
Daniel is 14. And Daniel was diagnosed in July 23 with... We found a lump on his back.
Yeah.
And he went in and we met a neurologist and she sent him for an X-ray straight away. And on the day we were diagnosed with scoliosis of a 22-degree curve. So roll on 6 months, we met with the spinal surgeon, had another X-ray, and he had deteriorated to a 65-degree curve. So we were told that Daniel was listed for surgery. We roll on another 6 months without any contact from anybody, and now Daniel has an 85-degree curve. And that was in October of 24. So March 25, Daniel now has a 90 degrees plus curve. It's getting worse.
So the measurement in degrees then goes to show how severe it's getting.
Yeah, and how
it's
aggressive.
It's mind-blowing to me that it's happening that fast.
Yeah, it's aggressive. I think with Daniel hit puberty, he's had a growth spurt.
Right.
So it's... You can just imagine your spine's like that, Daniel's not like that.
Yeah.
But it's the knock-on effects, like, for everything that Daniel has. Like Daniel has multiple complications. Daniel has autism, he has spina bifida, he has epilepsy. Scoliosis was not on our radar. This came... It was a kick in the stomach. It came out of nowhere. So, with everything that Daniel had, Daniel was a happy, happy child. I mean, everything. He was a happy child, with all these complications. With the last 2 years, Daniel has changed dramatically. Mobility, feeding, urine, like Daniel's catheterized, but everything, like his feeding tube is being protruded from his stomach now, so it's hard for us to feed him.
Oh, God.
So it's horrendous to watch.
You're a family, Allanna. You have gotten incredibly involved in what's going on. I remember reading reports, I think just pre-COVID, of children waiting up to 6 months, how intolerable it was that children had to wait up to 6 months for scoliosis surgery. That waiting list has increased exponentially. Every time that I look at this list, they're talking about 253 to 285 children on the list. Is Daniel on the list? What are you being told about his surgery?
We don't know. The numbers that came out from the CHI during the week, they say that there are over 200 kids.
This is Children's Health Ireland?
Yes,
yep.
yeah. There are over 200 kids in need of care for scoliosis. There are over 130 that are actively getting care. There are 31 kids who have started on the journey of getting surgeries, and there are 20 who have been given dates for surgeries. We know for certain that Daniel is not in the 20 or in the 31. We can't say where he is other than that, but, I mean, the child is in agony.
He's in pain from it all the time. That's what's affected his personality as well.
Every day.
Well, Daniel's curve has got so bad now. Like, I'll just give you an example of how bad the pain is. His ribs, and it's called a hip impingement. His ribs, his rib cage is sitting on his hip. That's bone on bone, and that's rubbing. Mm-hmm. So he can't get comfortable. And Daniel's a wheelchair user, so like we've tried to adjust his chair, we've tried to adjust his toilet seating. Nothing's working. Like it's getting so bad now. Where no matter what, like Daniel sits, and he rib his hand in under his ribs to lift his ribs off his hip.
Poor baby,
That's because of the curvature.
And we didn't realise how bad, why he was doing this. We thought it was because he was stimming, right? He was doing this. It was his physiotherapist that picked it up, and she said, no, his ribs are rubbing off his hip bone. He's trying to relieve the pain himself.
Oh, the poor baby. How does the wait list system work then? You just listed, Allanna, for us like 4 different categories that as we understand, that he could be in. Do they notify you and say, right, he's not on a waiting list. He was marked for urgent care. That this is how bad that the curvature has progressed or gotten worse, I suppose, over the last several appointments. So he was marked urgent.
Yes.
But where does that place him on the list?
So he was marked urgent in August of 24. We were told he would, urgently need surgery. There is no wait. But like I say, we don't know where he is on the list. I mean, we have been told he is listed for surgery, but there we have come to learn the hard way. There is a difference between being listed for surgery and being on the list for surgery. After the appointment in August where he was told that he was urgent and we had heard nothing, my mum Louise, she rang the hospital to find out where he was, why we weren't hearing anything, and she was told that he actually wasn't on a wait list.
So what's the difference there? Sorry, being listed for surgery and not being on a waiting list?
Your guess is as good as ours.
It's a play on words.
Yeah.
Like Stephen Donnelly said this 14 months ago, is that there was 20 kids on a list for surgery, and he's right. But there's 200 kids listed for surgery.
Listed for surgery and on a list.
It's a play on words.
So last week we were looking at that report that came out about Children's Health Ireland, and this was in relation to Dr. A, who was doing spinal surgeries, and there were unlicensed springs being used, and there are 3 children who have issues in relation to that. Your reaction to this report, because obviously this changes the game now. There's another doctor that hasn't been working for 18 months in relation to these surgeries, right?
It has a knock-on effect. It makes the delays even longer. And we know Daniel's a complex care. It's a multi... Now, CHI have been on to us, they've told us there's a pathway for Daniel. There's been a pathway for Daniel for 2 years.
And they've only been on to us since we've started to go public. After Daniel's appointment, where he was told he would need 2 surgeries, we were told in the hospital when he was at 95 degrees, this appointment was only in March, that he would need 2 surgeries instead of the 1, and we were told it was solely because of the delays that Daniel has had that he would need 2 surgeries. It was after that appointment that we decided that we had to go public with it.
Because he's not getting any better.
No.
So the plan was there was going to be 1 surgery and this was going to sort it out.
Yes.
But because it's gone on so long now, they're saying there's no way we're going to get this done.
Yes, and the doctors have admitted solely that the only reason he needs 2 surgeries is because of the delays.
So you've basically, as you mentioned, you've got to go public. You've got to come on places like this.
Yeah.
And I can't explain to you the amount of parents that sit where you're sitting because they feel like they've got no other choice than sit here and try to explain to people we need help.
No family wants to do this. Daniel is 14. He doesn't want his medical background publicised to the country. He's in school, he has friends, he has pastimes outside the school, but I mean, we have no choice. We've been told there's a minimum of 3 months. We could be waiting for another date for a date for surgery. We haven't got one at all. But Daniel doesn't have 3 more months. We're at the breaking point now where if you leave him go any longer, surgery won't be an option.
He'll go too far. That's something that could happen.
Yeah.
Like we've been told, if it gets to a certain curvature, we were told anywhere between 1.5 and 1.15.
And he's already at
Daniel's
90.
at the edge.
90 he's above 90, 95.
And the way his scoliosis has progressed, Daniel could tip over there in weeks. And the management team are having a meeting. We were told in 2 weeks, and we could, if this is how they worded it to us, if he's successful and he's eligible for surgery. I mean, it's not a competition.
Does it feel like?
Yeah.
You know other families who have scoliosis.
We've been told that Daniel is in the top 3 worst case scenarios in Ireland at the moment.
That's how we've got. I mean, it's like yippee.
But if they're not operating on Daniel, who are they operating on?
Well, this is it, and I suppose it just speaks to the volume of cases that they're having to deal with and the backlog of cases. You mentioned in terms of making contact and keeping you up to date. You mentioned Louise, your mum, ringing all the time. Does she need to? Is that a daily thing? Is it a weekly thing? How's she managing it?
I mean, between the 3 of us now, we're all emails, phone calls, anybody who's going to listen to us. But yeah, it's Mum mostly ringing the hospitals, because Dad works full time. My mum is Daniel's full-time carer at home, so she's the one that takes the brunt of it, But you're all involved in this. Like, you can see that as a family, it's the 3 of you out here fighting for as much as you can for Daniel, who can't fight for himself. How is he? Like, how is home life? He's your baby brother. You love him. I do, God, of course. I mean, what I wouldn't give for it to be me instead of him, what everybody wouldn't. Look, he's always been a happy-go-lucky child, even through everything that he's gone through, he is a very medically complex child, but he's always been happy. And even with this, he is still, you don't hear him complaining, you don't, but you can see it's just taking its toll on him. Which I suppose is why we're trying to get the word out now, and we do have a petition going to try and secure a date for his surgery.
Where can people find that?
Change.org/surgery for Daniel. Or if you just look up change.org and Daniel Collins, it'll come up as well. We're just, please, if things don't go on, we're going to bring it to the Dáil. So
Daniel Collins, change.org.
This is where you are for your son, David.
Yeah. It's horrendous.
Like if our new Minister for Health is watching right now. Minister
for Health, all of them.
All of them.
Shame on them.
It's not even shame. Please help. Yeah. That's all we're asking. Please help us. Daniel doesn't have long.
Micheál Martin stood in the Dáil last week, and this irks on us. He said, Mary Lou McDonald brought it up about Daniel, and he said, let's call a spade a spade. And he said something about the CHI. I said to Micheál Martin, let's call a spade a spade. If I, or any parent in this country, done what's been done to Daniel, I wouldn't be sitting in front of an Oireachtas company. I'd be sitting in jail.
Yeah.
Allanna and David Collins, thank you so much for. We know that you don't want to be doing this, but thank you for coming in and talking to us today. You can find the petition on change.org. Heartbreaking.
Give our love to Louise.
Please.
Thanks,
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming in.